What's up, guys? Welcome back. Sorry we are running slightly late today. We are about to drop the password into the Discord channel right now. That goes in KT announcements. So, thank you for your patience. It's been a day. Not a bad day, but just a day. Bam. All right, password is down. And I will see you all in here. What is up, chat? Good to see you all. Do not forget to hit that like button. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but it really does help the channel to grow, and it helps the streams to grow. I mean, seriously, like 2, maybe 3 months ago, we were getting 50 to 90 concurrent viewers as our max, and now we regularly hit 150 plus. So seriously, that helps. I really appreciate it when y'all do that. And yeah, we're just setting up a few things, a few last things. Okay, I think we're about good to go. So, I guess it's about time to get started. Server names are same as they are every single Friday. It's KameTrick Server 1 and 2, or KameTrick Drift Matsuri. Search KameTrick. There's nobody that uses my name but me. Just how it should be. Alright. I think I'm all set. I think I like how everything is looking. I'm going to adjust this camera very slightly. Oh yes, I do have one thing I need to adjust as well before we get going. I need to come in here and configure my camera. The over-the-shoulder camera is always a neat addition to the stream. It's also always a pain. You see me looking way over there, it's because I have triples. And stuff is like geographically far away from me as well. But let's see, we need to turn down the exposure on this so that things actually look kind of halfway okay. We'll roll with that for now. Alright, stream health looks adequate. My ISP is always a little bit slow and sketchy, but we are rocking. We're rolling. So I'm going to wait until this clip changes over, and then we'll start the stream out, because at some point I hope to cut this like setup portion out. Oh. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day. Let me know, chat, what is up? How's your day? How's your week? Got any weekend plans or otherwise? What are you looking forward to? What is up, guys? I'm Ben, and this is KameTrick. Welcome back to another live stream on the channel that bridges the gap between drifting in real life, like you see over here, and drifting in the simulator, which we're going to be doing shortly. Our track for tonight is a classic Drift Playground. It is probably the OG Assetto Corsa modding drift track, but we're not bringing OG cars to it. We are pulling out fairly new mods. Thank you someone for hitting me there. The Death Wish Garage car pack, as well as the WDT Street cars. And not only that, check this out. We've got beautiful fireworks for the stream tonight. It's going to be night drifting. We've got night lighting. And yeah, it's reason to celebrate. Happy Friday. We are going to shred. As always, I've got to give a shout out to some of my recent subscribers. We've We've got Shang Plays, Wide Selection, Automotive Affinity, I dig that, Les B, Bryce Soonstrom, Jason Murray, It's Alohi R, Nawaz Wali, Viola Razor, Georges, Eduardo Gutierrez Avis, Shinigota, Solars, Clumsy81, E-Racing, Nick Sheehy 777, The Staff, Mock, and Kyo Gallimore. Thank you all for sending it and joining the KameTrick Drift crew. We are happy to have you. And I stream every Friday from 9 p.m. Central Time until midnight, half on YouTube, and then halfway through we have a track change and a platform change, and we go to twitch.tv/KameTrick. So check that out if you're new. I'd love for you to give my Twitch channel as well as my YouTube channel a follow and show your support. We got chat in the house. We got Billy TV, we got Sam, we got Zach, we got Palmer, Global Drifting E-Series, what is up? We got Shark Attack as well. The server is always just called KameTrick Drift Matsuri or Weekly Drift Matsuri. Trust me, if you search for KameTrick, you will find my server every week. The only caveat is if you have your filters to set to like hide full servers, you may not see mine because it's already full. And if you also have your filter set to not show missing content and you happen to be missing the track or one of the car packs that's being used, you also won't see it. Psychoes, what is up? Good to see you. Misfits, man, Misfits and I were talking in the Discord earlier. Link in description. Do not forget to join it and support. That's a great community. We've got 4,000 plus members, real life drifters, sim drifters as well. It's a good time. But I was talking to Misfits about old school cars with those cable clutches, non-hydraulic clutches, and how shifty they feel to drive. Bueller's in the server. What is up? Glock knows what's up. Friday, boys. Time to get it poppin'. Alright, we're gonna hop into the car here. This is kind of a simple track. There won't be anything simple about it in terms of all the tandem that we can get into. It's going to be a challenging track, not because of the track itself, but because of all the cars moving around on it. 24 drivers on this fairly tiny little track. Actually, let me take 1 second and show you guys just how crazy this is. Disregard the fact that the map is super weird as far as like not showing many people, but like look at this exodus we are about to have. We can probably, if we got everyone to start at the same time, which will not happen, but if we were to really put in an effort in a future video, we could probably cover, what do you think, half the track in a tandem train? 24 cars is the limit for this map. We'll see. And then our second map on Twitch has a 32 car limit, and we're going to be testing out the sheer capability of the servers that I got. Alright, let's just cut a lap and see how it feels. I'm hoping it's not going to be super jagged, but I've got night on, I've got smoke on, I've got effects on. Obviously I'm rendering triple monitors, and we're live streaming and encoding that and uploading it to YouTube. So I'm basically doing a stress test of my servers tonight. The servers that I bought for the community. One thing that's kind of difficult about Drift Playground is it's so slow that it's really easy to grip the car up in a transition when things are getting a little tight and not realize it. So I'm just trying to get the feel of it, make sure everything looks like it's running right. Seems like it's all running all right. Oof. I've got to get warmed up to such a small, tight track. It's not exactly... It's actually harder than most of the tracks we run as far as tandem goes. Linking it by itself is very straightforward. But if you're anything other than the second car in tandem, it is a whole nother story. And your ability to follow other cars is entirely dependent. Oops, see, I'm dead. It's entirely dependent on how, yikes, how good everybody in front of you is. Let's watch some of the other cars for a minute. See them go by. We'll find some tandem here while I catch up with chat. Billy, thank you, my friend, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Happy Friday to you, sir, as well. Always good to start the stream off with a little shout out like that. I appreciate that. Oh man, this is nuts. The fireworks just make it. It's so rad. Oh, let's see. Shake and Bake, what is up, man? Good to see you guys. This is my homies out in Cali, trying to get the RTX 3080. Bro, I'm not even like a hardcore like gear snob, but I kind of need it with all the crazy ass streaming that I do. I really might as well just send it. All the mods needed are, of course, linked in the KameTrick Discord under the KT announcements section, and the server password, which you need to join, is also there. If you're brand new to Assetto, you're going to have to mod the game beforehand, so you might as well enjoy the stream, watch my videos on how to get into Assetto Corsa with mods. I have a playlist on the channel for it, and then hop in next week. We do this every Friday. Toge driving is a challenge for sure. Jock says it depends as far as Toge and night driving on if you know the road well or not. Yes, for sure. You cannot really sight read the Toge. I mean, I guess that's what rally drivers do, but when you think about how many people are competent rally drivers, it says a lot, right? So, very difficult. Shark Attack's getting in the server in the S15, an excellent choice. Michael says, when will the handbrake be back? And that is a great question. I will have to do a little work on that. Well, apparently it's just going to give us this camera angle for a minute. That's fine. By the way, guys, how's my audio when these Death Wish cars come by? They're tuned up so loud. Can you even hear me over them when they're like driving by, or is it actually not as bad as I'm thinking? In my headphones, they're super loud, but maybe it's not coming across on the stream that way. Nice run on that line for that RX-7. Brilliant says the computer is not even, your computer's not even able to run it by crashing. Sorry, yeah, that's just how we roll here. We're stacked, and so it's kind of a challenge. Sometimes my computer even has issues, and it usually does pretty strong. Lupo, fireworks are a function of custom shaders patch. It's one of the mods. Chat might be able to tell you more. FB mods, first time in WDT cars. Well, I don't think you'll be disappointed, FV. The main thing to think about for for WDTS, too many acronyms for me tonight, is basically that they have more side bite, so you can throw them a little harder, and if you throw them like normal, they may not go to full angle. I think they might be, I find them very stable, but you might, if you're coming from DWG, find them to be a little bit less easy at the max limit of angle. I use a little bit less than max angle most of the time. Psycho-Weave's volume's not terrible. Cool. Yeah, learning the Toge is so important. You really have to have the track memorized, solo running in the daylight, almost like grip style. And then when you go into a session, you can do pretty well after that. Alright, we've got 1,000 drivers God, this is ridiculous. Sure, let's get behind the 8.6. What could possibly go wrong? I love 8.6s. Actually, the 8.6 might be a solid car for this map. Because if you're able to manage... As I fail immediately. If you're able to manage your transitions correctly, you can basically flat-foot the track. Minchak says, still haven't been able to get into the sub-5s. Is that... Oh, Akina? Yeah, I mean, that one, it kind of depends on the car that you're running. Like our Toge Challenge cars, I don't know if they were able to go that fast. The car seems underpowered. So, we're just completing a nice clean lap around the track. Just thinking about going for a 360 entry there. But I didn't line it up quite right. This track is so hard to do 360s on. I don't really recommend anybody try it, and it's so rare to not have a ton of people behind you. Like, there's like 6 people behind me now, because of the time I wasted trying to do that. So much left foot brake. This is, I'll say, this is a lot harder than what Tandem Buddies would be on this track. But we're making it work. Oh, there's room. Now I can get off of that left foot brake. Let's see if I'm able to leave the train in the dust. Kind of depends on whether or not I mess up. Because I'm kind of cold. I do enjoy drifting for speed as well. Oh, that was just a fail. And we will see. How folks do it keeping up. Beautiful fireworks, lights on the mountain. Looks like Shadow's keeping up. I think that's probably Shadow back there. He's usually in the S14. Oh, just barely made it across. Driving a little rough tonight. I've never been like... This is a weird track. It's an easy track, but I've never been all that good at doing it like as good as I can do other tracks. I think it's just too tight. And what I hear from some of the like grip Toge racers is that Assetto Corsa physics get kind of weird when you're going really slow. This is a super slow track. I bet our wheel speeds are like 15 to 25 miles an hour most of the track. Like, we could probably get passed by someone aggressively pedaling a bicycle. Excuse me. I usually try to mute sneezes if I feel like I'm gonna have one, but that was not really an option for this time. There's the 360. We got that out of the way. Alright, so let me tell you a little bit about my course strategy for Drift Playground. Things I like about this track are that it's a very good beginner track. As far as the shape and the layout, reasons why it's a good beginner track are that it's fairly slow. As I've mentioned many times in my tutorials and other things, the slower that you are going, the more time that you have to put in all the inputs before it's too late and the car either grips up or the car spins. Also, usually, like, the engine is stronger. Like, the faster that you're going, the more engine power it takes to keep the car sideways. So you tend to struggle the least with needing clutch kicks. You tend to struggle the least with the car, like, running out of oomph. And your brakes tend to work as well as you need them to. And I was assassinated there by a chase driver. Hard, understandable. So anyway, those are some things that I definitely like about the track. Nice socks, says Shake and Bake. Thank you. We got the death socks on because there's going to be lots of death tonight on the stream. There's going to be all manner. I probably just got the video banned on YouTube now. We'll see if I have no viewership. But no, there's just going to be a whole lot of wipeouts. Julian, I did see the 360 that you put in the Discord. The big, like, rain track, that was rad. Very, very smooth. Lucas is asking the server name. It's called KameTrick. It very well could be that the server is full and your filter is set to not show full servers, which is why you're not seeing it. Password is in the Discord under KT Announcements. If you cannot find it, I cannot help you. It's very, very obvious where it is. Back to the track. So the other thing, and this is like the key. Oof, I feel like I was getting some lag there. Force feedback was cutting out. The key is that the turns are all roughly the same average speed. So a track that's hard, for example, or a hard element of a track is like Meihan. You have a straight, you build up some speed, and then you go into a really tight turn. Almost a turn that you would find on this Drift Playground track. That takes more adjustment than turns where they're basically all the same speed. So it doesn't have to be Drift Playground specifically, but any track where the turns are all pretty much the same speed and you don't have to get on the brakes a whole lot is going to be ideal for beginners to learn. Basically, if we're solo driving and if I can get my head together, you can pretty much drive this car with just the gas pedal. Or sorry, this track with just the gas pedal. The only reason that you might not is you may need some clutch to keep from bogging the car. Like here, I bogged it because I'm trying to drive with just the gas pedal just to show you all. But literally all that it is positioning the car at the correct spot on the track by my transitions, which is when I'm letting off the throttle, and how much angle I'm dialing into the car before I do that. Of course, I'm also modulating my line using throttle and steering midway through. We'll try another lap without using any other controls besides the gas. Which this is becoming more of a challenge than an example, but as you can see, I'm not really having to use the brakes any. I am going to have to there because I had to put in too much speed. And of course, nobody's going to stop drifting behind me, even though I'm trying to demonstrate this thing. They don't know that, so they're just like, why is he driving so badly? And it's because I'm not using any of the driving tools. And some lag there. You guys are probably seeing it as well. It's not my computer, it's actually in-game. Usually my stream will lag before I will see it in-game. And then if in-game is lagging, the stream obviously reflects that. So that's the gist of the track. Julian, yeah, all that was no e-brake. I'm definitely able to no e-brake it all day long with when I'm not tandeming. I like the e-brake for tandem. This track is called Drift Playground. Uematsu-san, good to hear from you. How are you? Julian wants a no e-brake run. I cannot chase with no e-brake. I can do a pretty solid job of, he says as he crashes. I can do I had my stream overlay up, so I was not really in a position to do anything. I couldn't see. In any case, sure, no e-brake lap. Really, all that I will do differently, e-brake will save me if I throw too much angle or if I transition too soon or something like that. But I don't really need it for the lead normally. As long as I'm paying attention, staying ahead of the car, meaning that I'm like planning my line a turn in advance, and so what I'm doing now is setting me up for success at that turn down there and not where I'm at presently. The trick to driving without using the e-brake most of the time is really just like understanding your line and using the right amount. Like every track, depending on how wide it is, has a range of speeds and lines that you can take that will not require the e-brake. So there's like a margin for error. And if you're really accurate, then you can drive the track without using e-brake. And the less accurate you are, the more likely there's going to be some turn where you flub it and go too far offline, and then you need to use, you know, e-brake, or you need to straighten up and reinitiate, etc. Now when I get up on the S14 here, e-brake would be really nice to have, because otherwise I'm going to straight up pass this guy. So, and it looks like he's going to bail. I was going to say if I pull out e-brake there, then you'll get an idea more about what to do. Just trying to pick up a view of some people driving, which normally works great. There we go. There's somebody to watch. And they wiped, of course, while we catch up with chat. 111 viewers. Thank you all for checking out the stream and spending a little bit of your Friday night with me. Do not forget to hit that like button so that we can continue to blow up the stream and get more folks in. Always like to do that. See what chat has got going on. E-brake is the oh shit button of drifting. Neff, I usually do drift with names on. If people are doing antics in front of me on my stream so that their name is on my stream, I always turn names off or change the camera, so that's one thing. And otherwise, if it's just hard to see, depending on the track, sometimes people are stacked up so much that the names get kind of annoying. I turn it off for the sake of viewers, but I kind of prefer to know who I'm driving with, and I frequently comment on it. So it really just depends. Tristan says, I joined with the Supra, and it was too hard to control waiting for a different car. Fair enough. Julian, I've not drifted Fujimi Kaido yet. I'm aware of it from Forza, but I didn't really play Forza a whole lot. I think I played Forza 4, and that's literally the only Forza title that I've played. So yeah, I've done Toge Challenge in Assetto Corsa. We did a portion of Fujimi. I haven't actually done any more of it than that yet. But Chalk, you're pretty much right on as far as my monitors are concerned. I was testing something and I think I left my refresh rate at like 144 instead of 120, but I normally run it at 120. Kodak asked about comps. I don't have any scheduled at this time other than the Toge competition, which is not drifting. I mean, we drift in it, but the point is to set the fastest time and beat the other guy by driving away faster. So that's the main comp that we have. We actually have one of those tomorrow at 1:30 Central Time, which is around, the stream will start at 1 my time. If you're in the UK or like Ireland, that's going to be 7 p.m. So I hope that you guys will tune in for that. Fujimi looks fun to drift. It would take me a long time to land a full loop. That kind of is the gist. Alright, shall we? Attempt to go chase down some doors. One of my friends who's watching the stream to see me. Yeah, I don't care to turn them back on when I'm actually driving. A lot of times when I stop, park, and chat though, folks will just kind of sit in front of me, and I don't always feel like broadcasting that. I'd much rather show something a little bit more dynamic to the viewers, even for the moments when I'm not driving. So this particular track has track cams that are pretty rad. These are modded track cams, they're not even the stock ones. And I just think it makes for some pretty cool footage. So it's a fun thing. Spiffy Grooves, have some free Google rewards money. Thank you, my friend, I appreciate it. And always thank you for watching. Super chats are a great way to support the channel if you can, and it's nice to have that. It really does help. It helps the channel quite a bit. A recent addition, yes, is, sorry, cameras, there? Yes, the Super Auto Box sign is now illuminated. It's a fun little thing I did. I may or may not keep that. And if I had a direct drive wheel, like, I would have my fingers broken on screen by somebody. Mar, I have tried drifting with a mouse. Back in the day, when I was trying to do sim drifting, and I had a gear drive wheel, and it was awful, and I didn't like it at all. And it was easier than using a gear wheel for me, but I still, like, for me, everything is based on real life stuff. So if it isn't going to help me get better in real life, I don't really want to deal with it. Basically, you get kind of spoiled by driving the cars. He plans on running to Soljin or Otaru Nisu town. You don't get too chaotic with 20 people. We shall see. I am not sure about that. For one, I don't have those Toge memorized. And for two, I almost think that I would have to... I'd probably have to make that some sort of application-only type of stream, because I would want to control the skill level of drivers. I wouldn't want people that literally don't know how to do it hopping in and, like, just... Toge is challenging. We're already going to see some of that here. The Underglow is a mix of Content Manager, custom shaders patch, and the mod itself. So not all cars have it. It has to be built with them. But it is a nice thing. A little overdone, so we don't run it on all the cars. But a lot of the Death Wish cars have Underglow. Alright, let's go chase some folks down. Let's see who we got. Maybe I can follow Rootkit here. We'll see. It's so chaotic. Watching the mini-map, it looks like a colony of ants. One of the challenges that you'll find on this track, if you are not skilled at either left foot braking or modulating your throttle, especially if you're not skilled at left foot braking, is that it's really easy to pass the guy that you're trying to tandem with. You'll probably see that happen to several people. I might even get caught in that mistake as well. Oh, that's too much angle. When you left foot brake, the brakes, as always, are applied to all four wheels. We're going to do a little bit of tuning here. The brakes are applied to all four wheels, but you're using the gas, so effectively the engine overcomes the rear braking force, and so those tires keep on spinning. The fronts don't have any engine drive, obviously, they're not connected to the motor. So what you end up having, there we go, is a situation where essentially only the front brakes get used, and when you're at angle, the front brakes will slow the car down, as long as you keep your counter steer correct and you keep your foot on the gas enough to keep the rear tires spinning, and you don't lock the fronts by using too much brake, which will spin you out really quick. The vehicle will basically stay on a similar line, it'll just do it slower. You can do this up to the point, and I've done it before, just you know, because it feels neat. You can actually do this up to the point of coming to a full and complete stop and just doing a burnout. So what you're going to see when you're tandeming in general, but especially on a tight track like this, is you're going to put your car on somebody's door and then you're going to modulate the brake so that you don't pass them. Now, if the cars are balanced pretty well, and if the drivers attack the course in the same way and have similar settings and stuff, you may actually find that you don't need to do this at all, and you can just modulate with throttle. But if you find yourself catching the lead car, passing the lead car, or getting to where you have to bail, or you're just going to hit them because you're going to drive right into the side of them, then left foot brake is the solution. Now, the longer the corner, the easier it is to left foot brake, which is a particular challenge at a track like Drift Playground. It's very small, the corners don't last very long. Like if we count, like here, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, that was a 3-second corner. This one here is actually kind of a long corner, because we've got, I'll have to brake a lot now because he wiped the longer straight. And that's going to be a teleport to pit situation. But a lot of these corners are really short. I'll show you real quick. So like this is probably a 3-second corner. 1, 2, 3. This one is a little bit long. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is short though, like 1, 2, and we transition. 1, 2, and we're transitioning. So a lot of these corners, about the time that you finish your transition, like if I don't start counting until after the car stops gaining angle and it's like confident mid-corner, it'd be like, here, 1 1000, 2 1000, transition. And we wait, now we're good. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, transition. 1 1000, 2 1000, bam. So we're transitioning a lot, and it's hard to left foot brake in transition We don't really left foot brake in the transition per se, but like it's hard to use left foot brake until the car is stable in the turn. You kind of finish the transition and then you left foot brake if you need to, but have some more confidence and skill at left foot braking while you're still finishing the transition. I usually use e-brake when you're still finishing the transition because I feel like for me and for my skill level it's a little bit easier to do, and I feel like I'm less likely to hurt my car or the lead car while doing it. And then the other big thing, this has nothing to do with left foot braking, is your transition timing. Now, one nice thing about this track is it's so tiny that there's not really a whole lot of creativity that you can use to get around it. Like basically either you're keeping it off the guardrails or you're not and you're hitting the guardrails. So everybody who's linking the track, it's pretty easy to predict where they're going to put their car and when they're going to transition. I think there's only maybe like 2 turns where that's even a question. We're coming up on one of them and we'll see how this RX-7 handles it. So right here, some people off throttle and just coast this entire time and then get back on throttle here. I do either. It really depends on how much speed I'm carrying at the time. If I'm going really fast, I just let off throttle, do both directions of the manji. If I'm going slow, I kind of accelerate through it though. .500 is being nice and consistent. Transitioning behind him slightly too late. That was better. Oh, too much angle. Shadow gave me a little push, which I needed, so that was fine. If you left foot brake too long, the lead car will also leave you, so that was a case where I got a little bit too committed to my left foot brake. Yeah, the other thing I was starting to talk about was transition timing, and so for it, because this track is fairly small, it's difficult to get the transition timing wrong. Our second track, which we're going to be running on twitch.tv/KameTrick, little shout out there, is Forest Park, and it is a faster, wider track. It's actually almost the same layout. I didn't realize it until I was setting the server up tonight. It's almost the same layout as Drift Playground, but instead of being like a full second gear track, it's like a second and third gear track with no guardrails, no elevation change. Oh, we're dead. And it's a lot wider. So that is a track that's really exciting. We'll just go up here. Come down and whee! Look down at all this gnarliness. So we'll go over here. Farther away from those fireworks, which are like super loud. There we go. That's nice and chill. Arcadia with the super chat. I heard it come in. Sorry about the delay. 6 minutes ago, making you wait, my apologies. Just started drifting on Monday when I got my wheel. Your vids have been super helpful, starting to link Drift Playground. Awesome, I'm glad to hear that, thank you. I always make it a point to really try and make my tutorial videos, God, that is a gnarly train, make my tutorial videos just as easy to find, as easy to follow, and as clean and clear as possible. And I do have more tutorial series that I'm going to be doing in the future for skills down. And I'm pretty much done with those at this point. I've got a few pieces of gear coming in that I'd really like to use for my next pieces of content. But I might be able to, I'm probably going to get 1 or 2 more videos out. And those will be dropped next week. One of them is already done. It's going to come out probably Tuesday, maybe Monday. Anyway, those are going to come out, and then tutorials will be happening again. I gotta fix the e-brake to do my e-brake tutorial, so you can look forward to that. I know people ask every stream. We'll see. Watch my e-brake last like 2 weeks. Once I fix it, we'll see. But I'm stoked to hear that you're able to link Drift Playground Arcadia. That is awesome. I mean, really, Drift Playground is a challenging track. I think it's good for beginners, but the guardrails will punish you. They will kind of force you to learn how to put your car on a certain line. And so it can be frustrating to learn. There we go. Good old live stream sneeze. Tristan Parrish, I never use left foot brake. Thank you for teaching me that. Yeah, my pleasure. So one thing a lot of people find when they get into left foot braking is that their right foot is very sensitive from using the gas pedal and, you know, learning to drive cars smoothly, and from using typically the brake with your right foot as well. Your left foot tends to be kind of dumb in terms of like how smooth it can be. Like, have you ever, if you're right-handed, have you ever tried to like throw a baseball left-handed and you just feel like you're like, and you just, it doesn't feel right and it's terrible? It's because you've never practiced using that type of coordination on that side of the body in like a long time. So I will say, when you first try to left foot brake, you're gonna be like, Hulk smash, and then you're gonna like lock the car up and it's gonna feel horrible. Once you practice though, you can practice like gently breathing onto the pedal. Imagine that you're like trying to step on an egg without squashing it. You just want to like compress it a little bit. Like, it's that sort of a thing. And so you start to go from having like a real heavy lead foot for your left foot brake to having a more finesse, so that you can use, you know, 20% brake. Because a lot of people, they're like 50% straight away and the car's like, whoa. But if you practice, you can get to where you can use like 10 and 15% and not like just mash the pedal all the way. In what channel is the server? It's in the KT announcements channel. No name Handbrake Gang. I'm probably gonna, at some point in the unknown future here, I'm gonna buy an eBay handbrake. I'm gonna drift with it. I'm gonna do like a review video. I might dress it up with some sort of, I don't know, like get some ink pens and do some artwork, and then I might do a giveaway on the channel. Probably make it like a raffle so that I recoup the cost of the e-brake, but somebody might be able to get one for cheap. I don't know, things I think about that like might be fun to do. The content and the live streams are the main thing. Anything beyond that, as long as it doesn't, how should I say this? As long as it doesn't slow down the content, I'm down. Anthony Caraballo is still going to support with the Prime. Thank you, my friend. Wyatt, you can get this mod on the KameTrick Discord. It is linked in the description. What is up, Rabbit? Stretch the buff jet for belt-driven wheel. You should definitely do it. Oh, stress the budget for a belt wheel. Yes, for sure. Belt drive wheels are the best. 100%. FV mods, yeah, DM me. I'll check it out for sure. Okay, yeah, I'm down. All right, time for a few more laps. Should I lead? Or should I do some more tandems? What do you guys want to see? Somebody give up an 8.6. There we go. Misfit is trying to go hard. All right, here we go. Rolling like an avalanche coming down the mountain. Huh. Somebody got kicked. I wonder what that was for. I haven't kicked anybody, nor have I even taught myself how to do that yet. I think I may have a setting turned on where if you go 2 wheels off like a bunch in one lap, the server might automatically kick you. I think it's a default setting because Assetto, you know, originally it was a grip racing game. And grip racing is a lot more structured than drifting, and going off course is like crazy, and it usually doesn't happen except in like a bad wreck. So either that, or maybe for not having the AI folder deleted and going the wrong way. Check out the Sexy Knights livery on this RX-7. It's actually pretty rad. One of the guys who's come into the Discord, I think Final Bout did a giveaway of the Sexy Knights 180SX. And like the guy that won that, I assume that's how we obtained that car, actually is in our Discord, which is pretty rad. I don't know if he has drifted a whole lot before. I haven't talked to him that much yet. If he drifts normally, or if he's more of a fan and just got like incredibly lucky and won that, in which case he'll be drifting soon, which will also be rad. Whoa, too much angle, and we all died. Here's Misfits in the R32. Let's see what he's got. Hopefully he won't pull out right before a bunch of tandem comes. He did not. Very good. Well, he's quick. Bye, Felicia. Dang, wait for me, bud. Oh, and I'm experiencing a little bit technical tandem difficulty. I managed to both bail and left foot brake the heck out of that. That's where I was talking about. You can left foot brake until the car is basically just doing a burnout at a standstill. Alright, so did not end up working. Granted, this is a really tough track, but this is my buddy Shadow. We drive together a fair bit, and I'm gonna put my car onto his door, and I'm dead. Oh no, so difficult. Wow, completely unnecessary ramming. Sure hope that you guys will quit doing that shit. Granted, it's hard not to with the pits being crowded, I know. I think that was Doomy. Shout out. Thank you for being a part of the community. Caught you at a bad moment there, but it happens. I mean, I just wiped out. Alright, we are following an EDC driver here in the HR34 Skyline from WDT Street. And he is following the Deathwish Garage RX-7. We got rotary love on this channel. I know a lot of people don't like the rotaries. At least I surmise that from not seeing them too often on servers. But team variety out here. We're not running just the Sylvias. We are going to run Skylines and big body JZ Chasers and 8.6s and RX-7s. Sorry, bumped into our EDC driver there. And the Laurel right here. Cars named after girls, or girls named after cars. I'm not sure which, but it's always a win. I've known a few Laurels in my lifetime, and they were always rad. So we were following a regular on my live streams. Na. Ooh, I thought I was in that guardrail. I ended up planting the nose of the car on it without like getting stopped by it, but I hit it just enough that I ended up pivoting around it. I'll come over here. We'll listen as people fly by. This is like the spectator view if you were hanging out on the mountainsides of Japan. This is what it would look like. And I've done this before. It's pretty rad. Very illegal, but like if you're in the countryside, there's no cops. There's also no wreckers or ambulances, and if you crash on the toga, you'll probably be there until morning and somebody's going to work in this heat. Unless, of course, you have friends who are, you know, out there with you, or that you can call to come bail you out when you get stuck. Look at those fireworks! That looks so good! The fireworks are a aspect of the custom shaders patch mod. I forget exactly where. It's somewhere down in the very bottom of the list of extensions that custom shaders patch CSP enables. I do have a tutorial on how to install CSP, and then if you look through it, down near the bottom, it's either lighting effects or weather effects or something to that of that style, where you can turn on fireworks. Naturally, they come on only during holidays. So like they'll come on for New Year's Day and Christmas and stuff like that. I've never looked, there's like a text file that basically says if date equals this, then activate fireworks in the nighttime. But you can also go in and change the drop down to where fireworks are active anytime that it's night in a server, which is what I turned on to get this effect. And I just felt like celebrating. $126 viewers, still only 94 likes. Do not forget to hit that like button, guys. And let's see what chat has got. Always nice to catch up with you all. It's one of the hallmarks of my stream is that there's a lot more interaction with chat than some streamers have. Maybe good, maybe bad, but a lot of times that's what we do. We hang out, and then we drive, then we hang out again. Just like real life drifting events, you know, your car's going to overheat if you do more than about 5 or 6 laps. So you do your 6 laps, then you hang out with your bros, let the car cool off, do it again. Rinse and repeat. College block in the house, 5 a.m. in Germany. Oh man, all my homies in Europe, I know you guys are suffering. Thank you for hanging out with us. We've got Sebastian, who has just subbed to the channel. I also forgot to shout out Flavio and Orfandis Konstantinos and Kyoki Caleb as well. Thank you guys for sending it and joining the KameTrick Drift crew. We're doing this every Friday from 9 until midnight Central Time. That's like, I don't know, 3 to 6 a.m. UK time. And we're just doing our thing. Having a good time. 1950 Ford F6 2-ton dump truck. That is a very specific username. I've never driven with the DWG cars, so I couldn't even get out of the pits with the JZA 80. Oh no. Yeah, they're very different than the WDT Street cars, but the packs seem to match up okay. The guys that like Deathwish cars drive them fine. The guys that like World Drift Tour cars drive those fine, and as you can see together, it all works out. Alex Marionetti, what is up, man? Welcome to the stream. Lucky, have I driven the new Minami track? In Drift 21, yes. In Assetto Corsa, not yet. I definitely want to give it a go, and I will have it on one of our live streams, but I wanted to give, honestly, people a little more time to drive it offline before I had it on our stream, because any variant of Minami is a challenging thing. So I didn't want it to just be a complete mess when we went to run it. Doomy D, I always get Insta stream cursed. Sorry about that. It's good, John. Probably one of the most funniest weeks there. What's up, Kodak? Appreciate y'all still hanging out, watching. You've been watching for pretty much the whole stream, man. Thank you. Rabbit says, I even wanted to join for the Europe Matsuri, but I felt so tired and would most likely have crashed a lot. Yeah, I get it. It's nice to be able to do the different time zones when I can, so that we can get different crews in. But yeah, if I'm the same, I drive until I get tired, but after about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, most of the time I start going pretty poorly because I'm just wiped out. Kami, yeah, I've been to Matsuri Week IRL. I've driven it. Absolutely. I talk about it occasionally, but I mean, it's not something I talk about a ton. It was a good time. Super rad time. Zach says, what's funny about the Minami thing is that I learned how to drift on that track in Assetto. Very nice. Fred Ryder, what is up, dude? Harder and harder to get runs. Yeah, that's it's just busy. Folks are really enjoying these weekly live streams that I've been doing, and I seem to have leveled them up a little bit, and we've got even more. Actually, somebody who's got Assetto, tell me how the second server is doing, because I can't leave this one to check it. At least I don't think so. I'm really curious if the second server is dead, or if it's popping, or if it's kind of medium full. So let me know, chat. And I saw in the list somewhere, and I don't see it now, but basically I had a question about how this compares to real life. I have a whole video on that, but it is actually like a year and a half old now. In a nutshell though, it server's doing good. 15 to 24 red, thank you all, I appreciate it. In a nutshell, Assetto Corsa with good mod cars and with good mod tracks accurately simulates drifting to the degree that you're going to be able to. It relies on a few things. You need a belt drive wheel or a direct drive wheel. Personally, I'm all about belt drive wheel. It's a good mix of performance for not crazy money, and it's also pretty much plug and play, whereas some direct drive wheels end up taking extra setup and tweaking depending on each individual game. The other thing though is that obviously you're not going to have weight shift, and that is a huge element to drifting in real life. But if anything, learning how to drift without weight shift forces you to use visual cues, what you see happening, assuming you're doing this in first person. If you're third person, then it really doesn't matter. But it forces you to use visual cues to understand when the car is sliding, get your timing right. All of your hand-eye coordination, all of the muscle memory that you develop, what works in the simulator will work in real life. There's just a tiny adjustment that you're going to go through, which I can't really articulate what it is, but it's not very significant. It's the sort of thing that if you've never drifted a day in your life, and if like I gave you my car and you went to a track, you would be linking that track by the end of the day 100%. I would bet money 100%. The only thing I could say though is if you're like a baller tandem driver, you might not be doing baller tandems at the end of your first day. It would at least be smart to ease into that a little bit more. But as far as just linking tracks and keeping the car like off the walls, you should be pretty much fine. So I'm a huge fan of sim drifting. I really enjoy it. My real car actually needs some repair work done, and I have been enjoying both making YouTube content and interacting with you guys on stream, as well as just driving in Assetto so much that I haven't felt that motivated to fix the car. And if I did not have a sim rig that I was pleased with, and if I didn't have a good sim driving experience, I would 100% make sure that I fix the car, because I got to get my fix. And I mean, I hate to say it because I love drifting in real life, but drifting in the simulator is so easy and cheap, and it's pretty good. I know that, like, if you're looking at Fanatec gear, you're like, oh yeah, sure, it's $1,500, $2,000. That's cheap. Way to go, man. But like, drift in real life, you'll see it's pretty affordable. So that's the gist. Neil, the Grateful Dad. Oh my god, that is the most rad username. I am also a Grateful Dad. Very, very good. Alright, we're gonna get a few more doors here. Are we ever gonna see a mint green KameTrick wrap on my S13? Probably not. I like the mint green in general. I feel like, here's the deal. I feel like the mint green is a unique color. I feel like it reads really well on white backgrounds and black backgrounds, so you're like night mode browsing and your non-night mode browsing experience for everybody. And it's just a fun color. I dig it. And so I like using it for my branding, but when it comes to my actual taste in cars, no, never. There will be a mint green sticker on it somewhere probably, but it's going to be most likely Nissan Aztec Red or some other red and gold, red and silver, or possibly red and white till the day I die. Love that color combination. Billiam, is there any specific steering wheels you recommend for drifting on the Fanatec wheelbases? Not really. We're gonna get back to the driving here. No, so for the most part, anything will be fine. I'm using a 330 millimeter wheel. That's the diameter of it here, and I think it's fine. I use a 350 in my real car, like basically 350 millimeter for S chassis and bigger, 330 for A6s and Miatas. That's essentially how it works for me. Or for K cars. God, if you're into K cars, then that's going to be a 330 mil wheel for sure, because your 350 will be like cutting into your thighs. I mean, good wheels to check out: Grip Royal, Energy. If you want to be a flippin' baller, get a Nardi wheel. Cheap eBay replicas, no shame in that for a sim, especially because you're not going to experience any G-forces. Like in a real car, you sometimes hold the wheel to hold yourself in place if you don't have a bucket seat yet, if you don't have a harness bar, or like a harness yet, or a cage and a harness. So you put a fair amount of force on the wheel without realizing it until you strap yourself into a good bucket setup and harness setup. You'll know it when you experience it. It's bizarre. You realize you're like, oh, I'm holding the wheel, and then like you just, oh, it's so easy to hold the wheel now. So anyway, all that said, you can also get away with a replica wheel for your sim rig because there's no weight shift, so you really can be quite gentle on the controls. Okay, we're going driving. It's time. Let's see who we got. Who we got to follow? We got Shadow. I never mind to follow Shadow. Will we be following Shadow? That's the question. Well, we will not. It's like it's like Rocket League out here. We've got everybody just piled on top of each other. We're gonna let the train spread out just a little bit so that we can get sideways and get into the zone without having to just about obliterate somebody. Little wipeout there that we had to avoid. Literally putting it into the weeds. Alright, now I think we're in okay shape. Headphones are a little loud. We're going to turn that down. So I don't know how long I'll be able to last before I wipe out here, but in a nutshell, I'll try and narrate my decisions with the controls. So at this distance, I don't really have any worries. Now I'm gonna pull up a little tight, and I'm gonna e-brake in to the angle that I'm gonna carry to move up next to 500. And you'll see I do that kind of regularly. Like I'll dive in, I'll transition at a little bit shallower angle, and it's going to let me shoot my car, didn't have to there, at the lead car. And then, instead of like matching their angle, which would cause me to not really get any closer to them, I'm going to transition shallow, shoot up at them, and then e-brake, which will slow me down so I don't spear them. And it will let me slide the car into a similar amount of angle as them. Left foot braking like crazy there. Oh, too much. So if you left foot brake too hard, like I said, it'll basically lock the wheels. And imagine what's going to happen, right? So your car is sideways. Let's say it's drifting in this direction around a turn. So it's going like this way, right? Your wheels are countersteered like this. If you lock them, what happens is the car stops and it pivots, because it stopped. So you can left foot brake all you want, but the moment that you lock the wheels, that thing's going around, and it can be a little rough. Or if you're super unlucky, you'll lock both front wheels, in which case it'll push. And so if you're in tandem and you guys are going around a turn, when you lock the wheel, you just immediately like just go right into the lead car. It's not a good time. In the process of learning left foot braking, which I had to do in real life, it sucked. I almost took my buddy's car out and wounded mine probably 2, maybe 3 times. But I'm pretty good at bailing. Like It's a good skill. I may not be the best drifter in the world, but I'm pretty good at not crashing. So, had a few close calls, but ultimately we've managed to keep it together. We'll let Na lead here. Quickly shifting into second. And we will throw it in and wait for them to initiate. A little bit of a weak transition caused the rear to grip up. So I had to use a touch of e-brake. Full throttle here, letting off in the transition. Just enough throttle to scoot the car through that little kink. And right now I'm essentially just watching Na and I'm absorbing what they're doing and like feeling out if there are any differences. I don't have to do the entire lap around the track. Oh, that's wall. To know the answer, but generally I'll do a couple of turns at least in the simulator, and that will help me follow FV mods here. That'll help me to figure out how safe it is to push up close. Alright, so here we transitioned pretty aggressively in a way that I should have by all rights hit FV mods, but then I got on the foot brake hard and basically stopped the car once I got alongside of him. I feel like my transitions might be a little late. It's working. Ooh, got ran into a little bit, and it's dead. Tough stuff. Chat, what are we up to? What is going on here? The 100mm upgrade from a G25 wheel feels so much better for ergonomics. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I feel like the wheels that come on Logitech products are okay, but they're so small they still kind of feel like a toy. Especially if you drive a bigger vehicle. Like if your daily is an SUV, a truck, or a van, you're gonna be like going from here to like, you're gonna feel like you're just driving some little like children's car, like a Power Wheels or something. Rocket, what is up? Good to see you. Thank you for being a part of the stream as always. What have we got? Ian Vasquez, I haven't played Assetto in forever because my G920 died. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Misfits, this may seem like a dumb question, but what is the best way to learn and practice left foot braking? Is just trying to tandem with someone the best way? So, I mean, there's a few ways you could go about it. Definitely tandeming with somebody that's good and consistent in the lead position is a great way to go. Squid, I don't happen to have a cold, but my voice might be a little raw. I had to talk about it at work today. Anyway, yeah, so following a lead that is good and consistent is a great way to go. If you want to break it down more than that, you could work on improving the sensitivity of your left foot in general. And you can do this in real life. You can do this in your daily driver. It doesn't matter if it's a car, a truck, an SUV, a van. If it's an automatic especially, which it most likely is, it's very easy to just hover your left foot over the brake. Be careful not to press the brake. Like, you don't want to ride the brake. It hurts them if you ride it for 20 minutes on the highway. It'll wear them down for no reason. It costs you money for no reason. But you can, keep your foot on the floor, and then when you're going to have to stop, you can use your left foot to slow the car down and come to a complete stop. Start a little earlier than you would normally, so that if you judge how much you need to do wrong, you don't, you know, end up right on somebody's bumper or possibly bumping into them. But like, you can use your daily driving experience in your work commute or whatever to build up your left foot sensitivity on the brakes, and that is one kind of helpful thing that you can do. In a nutshell, you know, when you're trying to learn, you want to be able to focus on what you're doing. So one of the things that makes learning to drift in real life, if you've never done any sim at all, hard is everything is new. You're not used to sliding a car, you're not used to doing a burnout, you're not used to steering and e-braking and like steering with one hand and one foot on each pedal all at the same time. Like, that's just not natural. So what you can do to break that down will pay dividends in shortening your learning curve. And since we can't practice drifting everywhere when we drive on the street anyway, a great option is to practice your left foot braking while you're daily driving. Like I said, just give extra room so that you don't have any unfortunate instances. And then outside of that, yeah, hop behind a good lead driver. What you want to be shooting for is, of course, being good at tandem in the first place. So you need to be able to link the track solo 8 out of 10 or more times, I would say. But get to where you are able to get in fairly close. Try to match your transition timing to theirs. So don't be like, if you're late, you start out like this and you end up like this, and that makes you like past the lead car, because you end up going like this and like that, and then you're having to hit them. So work on your transition timing. You know, like if they're going out to the wall and you're not comfortable, you might stay over here and transition too early, and that's where you pass the lead. And essentially, once you do a transition and you are both kind of locked in, you're not picking up heaps more angle, you're on throttle, then you can lean into the left foot brake and practice it. Another thing that you can do just to feel it out is actually left foot brake driving solo. Like I said, you can start a drift and you can left foot brake down to a stop. I guess I could show you. I don't really do this. I never practice this because it's like not necessary for driving, but like, meaning I'll probably mess it up. But just to give you like an example, right? Back the car up. Get a little bit of room here. Okay, so like we're in a drift, right? You can get on the brake. Well, okay, this car doesn't have enough power. First gear will probably work, but I don't want to get teleported to pits. So we'll do this. We'll go around Misfits here. See, like, eventually, you can basically stop the car and be doing a burnout. See, I stopped the car. I'll start drifting it again. Well, you get the idea. I don't practice that. I don't think it's cool to do. I'm not like a big burnout guy, but you can literally left foot brake until the car is stopped and you're just doing a burnout in the middle of the turn. So like, you can practice that as well. You can be going around some turns where you don't need a left foot brake and just give it like 10% and feel what it feels like. You might need to give it a little extra counter steer when you do. And, you know, it'll just make you more comfortable. Again, what you can do to break it down into individual parts will make it easier to then ultimately put it all together. Just catching up with chat, seeing what you guys are talking about. Interesting stuff. It is 10:26, so our track change is coming up soon. But before that, we're going to do a little bit more tandems. As I hit the wrong button, do all manner of cockpit changes. 109 likes, we're getting there. Just your, you know, half-hourly reminder to hit like, help the stream. We're getting close to the end of it here, but we still got some time. But if you want to practice left foot braking, not for any real reason other than just to like get used to the feel of it, and again, you know, build up some of that like muscle memory and comfort zone with it before you try and deploy it in tandem, then you can find places to do it. If you want to try it the way that I got into it, wait until the car finishes a transition and you're on throttle, and then just ease into it. So like, I wouldn't do it right now, the car's transitioning, but right here you could do it a little bit if you needed to. Screwing up my chase guy. Really, on this particular track, this turn with, I guess it's Kermit on it, it's a good way to do it. So like, there's no point in doing this, and I'm making it utterly miserable for the chase guy. But you can practice that, and you'll see that it doesn't have to affect your driving line a whole lot. It modifies it a little bit. For me personally, it usually makes the car suck in just a little bit tighter to the apex, but and that's why people use it when they're running walls, is it keeps the car from drifting out to the wall quite as far. But that gives you a couple of options and some ways that you can practice, hopefully, you know, through breaking it down in a informal live stream tutorial. Let's get to 500 and follow, so I'm gonna come in kind of tight and see, I e-braked out to angle to match him. Depending on how well I do that, I sometimes end up losing a little bit of angle and proximity because I overdo it. I'm using e-brake and I'm not transitioning as hard because I don't want to go to too much angle on this track and park the car and get hit by somebody chasing me like that, which was not my fault at all. Yeah, I'm cool with following FE, that's fine. So we'll see the same thing. Get in the drift, and I'm going to transition too fast and then e-brake to adjust. That was way too aggressive. To get in position. This is a track that's more of a cat and mouse tandem track too. Like, it's not easy in a lot of these turns. Oh, that was a terrible job. It's not easy on a lot of these turns to get onto somebody's door. Basically, the longer the turns are, which you'll see on our second map tonight when we switch over to twitch.tv/KameTrick, you'll see that I can spend a lot more time on the door of the lead driver. But here, where we have to change directions so frequently, that's generally not the case. Gave him a little tap there, which was sweet. That was just the amount of too much. Just the amount of transition I was hoping for there. But I'm being cautious here, so in the lead position I would be throwing more angle. Here in chase, I'm not throwing as much as I can, and I'm covering for that with e-brake. If I didn't use e-brake, in some instances, like there, the car would grip up in the transition because I'm throwing these kind of weaker transitions, and it's just because this course is tight as hell, and I don't want to just park the car sideways and get taken out like a car stopped on the train tracks by the cars behind me in this tandem train. Like that. Transition to too much angle, lose all sorts of speed and proximity, become a bother for the guys behind me in tandem. That was a nice solid transition. Cool. Oh man. So another thing that's important is to break down your actions, break down your performance, reflect on what just happened. And if you do that, you'll be able to, oh boy, you'll be able to figure out things you can improve upon. So in that last situation, for example, I was having some good transitions. I was getting close on those transitions. Because like I said, A track like Forest Park, or like if you want to go to real life drifting, what Lone Star Drift usually runs, wide turns that last for multiple seconds, like 6 and 8 and 10 seconds, heaps of time. This is actually Lone Star Drift there, that clip that just ended. Heaps of time to get near your lead car and then check up on them and lock in super close and just hang out there. It's really cool when you get that opportunity. But small, bro, yes, the track change is coming up. Small tracks where the turns are very short, you can't really be here and then back off and be here, because you need to give room to transition. So if you're on the door and they have to transition, you're going to hit each other. It's going to be a bad time, just crunch, crunch, crunch. So instead, you got to stay back here where nose to tail. So like, what I do a lot of the time is I come in and I come out. And if it's a tight course, I don't really do much more than this. And if it's a course with longer, wider turns, that's when you start to see this. So it's all style choice. You can try to get on doors, but dude, it's so much work on Drift Playground to literally get up to their like front mirror and stuff. The real life drifter in me knows that that's gonna highly raise the chance of an accident, and I'm not trying to break and fix my car every week, so that's kind of how I approach it. But on that kind of debriefing thing I mentioned, as far as breaking down what you do right and what you do wrong, what I did wrong, I was starting to get more comfortable. I talked about how I was using soft transitions, and then like if the lead car, nobody in front, he's doing these gangster transitions, right? And I'm kind of being careful because it's a tight track. I don't want to angle stall and then get hit by the guy behind me. So if he's transitioning to here, I'm transitioning to like here, and then I'm pulling e-brake to like tighten up to him if I need to. It's not really intentional, but if I find my transition is a little too soft, I do. So I just mentioned that, and then I thought, you know what? I should really just make an effort to send it, go a little harder, because I was feeling pretty good. So I started transitioning to more angle. It was working great. Eventually, though, I angle stalled it, put me on too much of an inside line, and then that ultimately put me into the guardrail. I tried to like e-brake and left foot brake and like use maximum angle to like pull the car away, but ultimately there was a guardrail on the inside that we just got a little taste of. So it's fine. What happens? Mint chalk ice cream. Yes, I do not have the party cup tonight. I do have to wash that thing every now and again. So we are rocking old school childhood stuff. Who here knows about medieval times? Shout out. Well, I guess I'm not necessarily a medieval times fan, but it's an experience. If you've been, if you know, you know. Been to the medieval times in Texas. They have one in Kentucky somewhere as well. Another place I used to live years ago. That clip was Nakamura and Animal Style together tandeming. That was 2018 out at Grange or Apple Valley Speedway. Oh. Now we are running the end of a lap at Ebisu. Oh man, I need to go back. I'd love to drive that some more. I'd love to have known that my cameras were going to be shit. Old GoPros are just not that great in the nighttime. And some of my best footage, like granted it's so dark, but some of my best footage was nerfed pretty heavily. And that was before I was vlogging or making YouTube content. So I wasn't really in the habit of filming. You know, you go out and you're like, yeah, I'm going to film all this stuff. It's going to be great. And if you're not a YouTuber or like a content creator, like you aspire to that, and in reality, you're not going to do it as much as you think you are. So I'm stoked for the next time I go to Japan, because I have got like 2 or 3 years, probably 3 years of like vlogging and drift content creation experience, primarily real life stuff. And I just want to take you guys along at some point and show you. Of course, with COVID and family life and work, it's hard to make my way over there. But that is the hope. Someday. Obviously, I'm going to go back to Japan. It's just a matter of when, and whenever I do, you know it's going to get documented. All right. It's about time for track change. You guys got any burning questions, any last thoughts here? Alex says, Yo Kame, is it possible to have a drift car and a track car at the same time? I love both, and I'm wondering if, when I get my first car, I can set it up to do both. You can. It's a little challenging, but you can. If you are interested in competing in like feeder series for pro drifting or competitions around grip racing, and especially if you're interested in competing in both, you really need to plan out what sort of route you see your car going through, like what series and what class you'll be competing in, because you will find instances where you're not allowed to do certain things that might be normal for drifting that are considered a huge mod that'll put you against people you have no hope of beating in grip. Or you may have a grip modification that is insufficient to pass tech for drift. Like you might need anti-intrusion bars in your roll cage down by your front wheels so that if you're at angle and you get hit, it doesn't smash your foot, which I have known people that have gotten their foot pinched a bit. You know, you might have stuff where it allows you to reinforce the chassis in a certain way for grip that's considered illegal for drifting. So do your research there, or like if you're going to have a cage installed in the car, for example, have your cage builder do the research for you, something. Just make sure you don't get caught off guard by that, basically. Otherwise, you can do it. The biggest difference between a well-sorted grip car and a well-sorted drift car, honestly, is the ride height, if you're a style boy, and the alignment. So, drift cars, a lot of them are going to be running a lot more static camber and probably more aggressive toe out than like a drift car will have that, and a grip car won't really need those things. It's a big deal about camber because normally when you're in grip, you turn the steering wheel and the car leans in the other direction, right? You feel that, especially if you drive like a truck or a van or like a big old car, you feel the car like and it leans the opposite way that you're steering. So the suspension is designed to compensate for that. So when you turn the wheel here and the car leans, the body of the car leans off of. So they build the cars to where when you turn, a lot of times they also gain camber, and the tires actually lean in the direction of the turn to counteract the body lean off of the contact patch. When you're drifting, the way that you're leaning and the way the weight shift works is reversed though. So when you're drifting, if you're steering this way, the car is actually going around a right-hand turn, and that causes it to lean this way. And the tires are trying to lean into the turn, but drifting makes it happen like this, and so then it like really unbalances the car. So for drifting, a lot of guys you'll see, unless they have like crazy WiseFab stuff, which kind of changes all of those gains, like camber gains and toe gains, will be running like that demon camber up front, and that's because it counteracts the tire lean when they're in drift. And that stuff does not help you for grip at all. It makes the car worse. So that is the gist. Like the biggest difference. Like my car, if I aligned it every event, I could switch between grip and drift, and it's not a great grip car, but like it would perform as well as a 240SX tuned for grip could. It'd do pretty well. Squidge on. Yes, I met Ken. He's a nice guy. I've translated for him. That was my car he was scoping out. It's a wild time. In 2007 or 2008, I was living in Japan. I was learning Japanese. I went to Tokyo Auto Salon and I purchased a pair of driving gloves from Nomuken, and he signed them, and I could barely speak Japanese, but I was able to speak just enough to ask him to sign them. And then many, many years later, I've lived in Japan longer. I've gotten pretty good at Japanese. I'm worse now because I don't practice as much as I should, but I mean, I'm able to talk to people just fine. And I had been networking and I've been drifting, and I got to be friends with his translator, and he came out to an event in Texas, and I was like, come visit me. And he came out, and then I helped translate for Ken Nomura. It was just like wild and crazy to think about. I mean, it was a long journey, like, I don't know, 15 years? Something like? Between, like, not between those two moments, but between not speaking any Japanese, never having been to Japan, and having an interest in drifting, and then coming full circle into that, and just being like, holy shit, what is my life? Just not having a plan, just loving what I was doing on the day-to-day and sticking with it. It's a thing. You know, follow your dreams. It sounds dorky as hell until you live it and you're like, holy crap. Yeah, no. It's true. Like, it might take way longer than you want it to, but you can make it work. Kari TV, what is up? Greetings from Greece. Thank you, my friend. I am always happy to get to meet people who are into drifting from around the world, because we are the world drift friends. That is one of the key messages for KameTrick. We're all about drifters without borders, united by our love for cars. And I enjoy getting to meet folks and talk about what drifting is like in their country. I've met and talked with people about drifting in the US, in, well, basically all of North America, in, gosh, Hawaii, if you count greater US, Germany, Estonia, like Latvia, Ireland, Scotland, UK, like all over Europe, Thailand, like just all kinds of neat places. It is my great pleasure to enjoy the power of the computer internet. You know, like, we are able to do stuff that the people just a generation ago couldn't fucking imagine. Could not imagine talking to people in Greece real time, talking to people in Germany real time, talking to people in Japan real time. You know, like, holy shit. It's amazing, guys. This is legit, like, the best time to be alive of the times that people have been alive. And it's probably only going to get better unless, we're not going to talk politics, but unless, like, the world goes to hell in a handbasket, it's only going to get better. We're going to have a great time drifting. We're going to party everywhere. Oh my gosh. Makes me happy. Alright, we have got our second server set up. I'm going to post the password into the Discord very soon. I'm just making sure that I can get logged in. I do test the servers before the streams usually. There's one time I didn't, and it was last week on Saturday for my special Europe Drift Matsuri that I did at like 7 to 10 p.m. Europe time, which was kind of weird, like mid-afternoon for me. And of course, the one time I don't test the track, the track doesn't want to load. Yeah, we're all set here. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, fam. We are ready to call it a night here on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, we can close out by hitting like if you are new here and you happen to be watching. Thank you for checking it out. Hit subscribe if you enjoy what you see, and check out my video library, because there's plenty more real-life drifting and sim drifting on the channel, and usually there's new stuff every week. Occasionally I miss a week. It just kind of depends on how life goes. But we are going to switch over and change platforms now to my Twitch channel. It's a fairly new channel, and we're working on getting up to 1,000 follows, I think. So I'd love to have your support with a follow over there. If you've got Twitch Prime through Amazon and that's available, and you want to support me and my channel, in a way that costs you nothing, I would love to have your support there as well. But of course, just hanging out is always what everything else is built upon. So we'll see you there. It is www.twitch.tv/KameTrick, or just search KameTrick on Twitch. You will find me 100%. We're going to go into the Discord, post that password, switch my streaming gear over, and I will be right back. We'll be live on Twitch in 5 minutes or less. See you there. Have a good night, guys. Peace.